to kind of piggyback off of what you're talking about there, when I'm hearing this thing about like early screening access too, of what people are saying with, if you get, like, we saw this a lot on our socials, because you went to an early screening, you're a shill, which is the weirdest thing to me to hear, because there's people, I'm okay with people generalizing us as, you guys seem like you're often optimistic or more positive leaning. I'm like, that's not a bad thing, sure. But there's also the opposite people who people are very familiar with. There's a critic, and I think you've worked with him before, and I love his videos. I watch them every single week, Jeremy Johns.
Yeah, we started Screen Junkies Plus together.
That's right.
I like Jeremy a lot.
Yeah, you have a history with him. And Jeremy is someone I watch every week. Again, I love his videos. He is often not positive on a lot of movies, a lot of Disney movies. Yet he's constantly going to early screenings. So if this rhetoric that going to an early screening is them telling you have to be positive, and like, then why are the people who are usually negative leaning beyond Jeremy Johns still always going back?
Jeff Snyder would be another one.
There's a billion other names we could think of.
Even John Roca, for specifically Superman, said he couldn't stand the Superman marketing. He was not excited about the movie because of how much he didn't like what it looked like going into it, didn't like the trailers, and they still invited him to the movie. Yeah.
Well, we were talking before. Like, I can think of several things. There are several movies I can think of from Warner Brothers that I went to the Shazam Fury of the Gods movie premiere. Took a photo with Zach Levi. That James Gunn and Peter Safran were in attendance. I really did not like that movie. There's a whole review on here. You could just see the thumbnail. It's like, they clearly did not like this movie. And yet Warner Brothers still keeps inviting us back to go to early screenings or certain events. At Godzilla X Kong, I was telling you about before, in another Warner Brothers movie where John and I were privileged to hang out with the director before the screening, show us this cool behind the scenes stuff. They did a whole thing. Again, of course, they want you to, pepper you up to make you like it more.
To make you in a good mood.
To put you in a good mood. Yeah, it makes sense from the business side, but we still gave a not glowing review. I was not positive about that film, and we still get invited back. So that to me is already like an indication that all that is bullshit of what these accusations are, of what they're saying. And I think people will use something like what you were pointing out, that screenshot, because they've already made it up in their minds that this is the reality. So they're manipulating words and text when really, like, dude, just read the text. They're just saying they want you to do a review of it. That's plain and simple.
For a company, they were just saying, can you post that you were here at a real 3D screening?
IMAX wants the same thing from us.
Right.
IMAX just wants you to hashtag IMAX, say, and I've said it many times, if there's one thing I shill for, it's the format of IMAX.
Because it promotes their format. That's what these people want. So it's so unfair to Warner Brothers to say that they are trying to get people to only do positive reviews about Superman, when that was the one piece of quote unquote evidence I even saw online that they were even asking people to post about it. And it wasn't coming from Warner Brothers. It was coming from Real 3D. No shade on Real 3D. I think it's totally fair that they asked people to do that. But that wasn't even a Warner Brothers email. So it made me very frustrated. But I had to take a step back and realize it's because people don't know. They don't know the difference. They don't know that there are different screenings, like you said, for influencers versus critics. Some are run through the studio, some are not run through the studio. So instead of being frustrated, I'm really glad we're taking a minute to explain. And hopefully there are some reasonable people out there who realize that this is not the same thing as being paid to be positive. Yeah. Which if I was paid to be positive, I wouldn't be renting my little apartment struggling to pay my bills sometimes. And also morally, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. I have been paid to promote that a movie exists that I haven't seen yet. I've been paid to say, like, hey, check this thing out when it comes out. I've never been paid to review a movie positively. I've never been paid for that. And I wouldn't be paid for that because I wouldn't do that. Yeah. That's bonkers to me.
And now, do they sometimes offer? There's one studio I can think of in particular. I won't call them out. We actually just got an invite from them. They offered the whole thing. They did not say if they have a positive review, but they're like, we're going to send a limo. We'll do the whole freaking offer. Really? And I was like, wow, that does sound fun for a movie I have zero interest in watching. And I just didn't reply, even though like it sounds like great. Maybe I'll do it just for the free shit, but I'm not gonna. I love the free stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love going to the events, getting the free merch and whatever. I love it, but I do think though, to be fair, I can totally fathom that there are people who do think they have to be positive in order to keep getting the invites back. I completely believe that is a reality that some people feel they have to live in. And maybe there's some truth to that I am totally unaware of. That maybe if you are, I don't want to say any names, but there's like some people I can think of who are like constantly the hype machine. Maybe they do that so they can keep working with
But
them.
okay, let me address that for a second, because I think of anybody on this channel, I am accused of being the most positive person.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
You?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
John, would you second this?
How'd you feel about the Happy Time murders?
I don't remember. Did I watch that?
I don't think I would necessarily peg you as the person who would reliably love anything we put in front of you.
That is so interesting. It's the one like consistent piece of comments that I get nonstop.
That you like everything or something?
That I like everything.
Got it. Yeah.
Including Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, that I think that's why people were so upset. But I think I'm mostly talking about for movies that I review. Here's why, and you guys might not know this about me because we are doing watch-alongs here, which is different, and reactions, live reactions, where I'm seeing something and I'm speaking on it. I don't review anything I don't like. That's my policy. When I go to these screenings, I don't do, on my own personal page, I don't review a movie I don't like.
Why?
Because I'm an artist, and I think it's an absolute waste of my time to crap on somebody else's art because I am not a critic. That's not what I do for a living. I'm not here to tell you these are the good movies, these are the bad movies, that's my opinion on them. I'm here to hype up art that I love when I love it. And there is absolutely zero requirement for me for any of these studios to do a review for them.
Do you ever feel like you overhype
No.
for the intention of it? I mean, I'm asking you the question because I'm setting
right.
you up, but I realize I already know the answer.
I really don't ever, because I just won't do a review for something I don't like, because I'm allowed to do that. I don't work for a company that forces me to do reviews for movies that I don't like, so I don't. It's just not fun for me. I think that it's completely useful for other people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that nobody else should review movies poorly. If you're a critic, if you're an influencer with this is what you're doing, and you want to review every movie you see, positively or negatively, I think there's so much merit to that.
Yeah.
That's not me. I'm an artist, and I am not saying critics aren't artists, but the kind of artist I am is I want to spread love and joy, and I want to positively talk about the things I love, and the things I don't like, I just want to forget about and leave them at the door. And so I have told everybody, if I tell you I'm going to see something and then you don't see me review it, you know what happened.
It's a Chris Stuckman approach.
You know what happened. I didn't end up liking it. And it's a waste of my time personally to sit there and create content about why I didn't like something. Yeah. Unless something made me mad. Unless something was bigoted and I wanted to talk about like this was inappropriate and they shouldn't have made this. This is not art. This is something else. If I just don't like a movie, it just didn't work for me, I just don't talk about it. And so because of that, here's how you know they don't just invite positive people. Every review I do is positive because I don't review the movies that I don't want to see. And yet I was taken to Superman by you as a +1. I wasn't invited. And I am so positive about DC in general, but I wasn't invited. So just doing positive reviews, which is all I do, doesn't get you invited to things. So I know that approach doesn't work. It's not why I do that approach. That would be a bummer if it was why I did it, because I know it doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work to be positive and then expect to be invited. That's not what gets you invited for things. When I used to do DC movie news back in the day, and I used to talk about every one of the movies, Man of Steel came out. We then started DC movie news, and for an entire year, I talked every day about how much I did not like that movie. I was very upset about the dog and the dad. I'll leave it at that. It just was not, it didn't work for me. I ended up really liking a lot of DC movies in the future, but for a whole year, I every day said, this movie does not work for me. And you know what? Warner Brothers then started inviting me to the lot to see the DC movies. after I had said this movie did not work for me. Now I'm positive about everything, and sometimes I don't get invited. So there isn't a direct correlation between those things like people assume there is.
You hit I was wondering where you were going with all that, and I was like, damn, you really looped that in really well.
You're like, why is she noveling? What is this monologue about?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry it took me so long to get there.
I like the tethering that it eventually got back to. That was really well done.